Thanks for the support as a channel member, Jack Edinburgh. Your daily reminder, folks, 3 days left to order your Bourne shirts. Link is down in the description. Thank you very much to everyone who's ordered them so far. We've sold probably a couple more than I was expecting us to sell by this stage. So I am hopeful we'll be able to do another run in a couple of months' time because this one's gone quite well. That being said, can't guarantee anything. So if you want to be absolutely sure of getting one, your best bet is to order now. Please. They're great. Hello and welcome to part 32 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have 2 games in the league for you. We're away against Hartlepool and at home against Dulwich Hamlet. Since you were last with me, it's been a strange time. We're very inconsistent. We beat South Shield 6-2, which was some nice vindication for last season when they pipped us to the title. It did feel good doing that. But then we had this game against Weymouth in the FA Cup. No cup run this year because the penalty shootout was 11-11 after 11 penalties each. Not a single penalty from the first 11 was missed. But then Matthew Bond, who'd already scored once, stepped up and missed the next penalty. So we lost 12-11 on penalties to Weymouth. And then, again, continued with some more inconsistent league form. This is what the league table looks like. We're exactly where you'd expect us to be, hovering around outside the playoffs, game in hand over, or several games in hand over some of the teams above us. I mean, if we were to win our 2 games in hand, we'd be second in the league, challenging for top spots. So things are looking very good. As you can see, Bond is scoring for fun, 13 goals for him. Quinn with 10 goals as well. It's lovely to have the 2 top scorers in the league. It's been a long time since we've had that. And hopefully they'll just continue to get better and better. We're still only average team cohesion. As that improves, I would expect results, the inconsistent, strange results, to get a little bit better. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident about how this season is shaping up. And this is a team we're putting out there for the game against Hartlepool. We've got Anang in goal, a back four of Garrett, Ball, Dootson and White. In midfield, we've got Mitchell, who did play in the last episode, but I don't think I've made enough of a big deal of him yet. He's kind of solved our left midfield problem. 4 goals and 2 assists from his first 7 games, averaging a 7.6. I think we have our left midfielder. Mundell at the base of the midfield, partnered today by Brian Spencer, who's going to be making his debut. He's another one who came in the summer from Arsenal, but he's been asking for first team football, so we're going to give him some today and see if he's any good. What does he actually want to be when he grows up? He can be the same as everyone else in that role. And then Williams on the right-hand side of midfield. And, of course, Quinn and Bond up front because they're Quinn and Bond. And if we've got the option to play them, we'll play them because they've been that good. It's worlds away from the days of Luke Plange. Last year, I mean, I still love Luke Plange and I always will. But last year with him up front on his own, he scored 23 goals for the season, I think. Now we have 2 players up front. They already have 23 goals for the season between them. And that's the big difference between this season's team and last season's team. When we set our record for fewest goals scored in a season last year, I think it was 66 goals we got as a team in the league all year long. 15 games played, and our 2 strikers are already or more than a third of the way towards that total just from the 2 of them. So they are huge difference makers. We've got Bond tied down to another year's contract, which is excellent news. Quinn obviously here on loan, and we probably won't get him next year unless we get promoted, in which case we might. But even just having Bond for another year is huge news. And Spencer's there with the first good chance of the game. It was nodded down by Quinn, and Spencer had the opportunity to score in his debut, but it hit it straight at their goalkeeper, and the move kind of peters out a little bit. In fact, the highlight is continuing, which suggests Hartlepool are coming at us here, although Mundell's in there with the tackle, clears it towards Bond, and here's Spencer again, plays it back to Mundell. Mundell forward to Mitchell on this left-hand side, talked positively about him before the match, and that's why, because he is very dangerous from that left wing, beat his man, good shot, good save from their keeper, and Ball, our centre-back, taking the corner. I don't think they're going to be as effective as they are when Pack takes them. But Pack's played a lot of football recently, so he's having a little bit of a resty rest today, and hopefully we'll be back again for the next game. Unless, of course, this midfield ends up looking sensational, in which case he might never make it back in the team. But cross comes in there from Hartlepool, and it's a header that goes just over. The bin men have arrived, by the way. Those of you who missed the bin men in my videos, they've not featured for a few weeks, but they are back today. Say hello to the bin men, everybody. Making all manner of noise just the other side of my garage door. They can almost certainly hear me as well. If you can hear me, bin men, bang on the garage door. You can tell I lowered my voice. I don't really want them to hear. I don't want them. I will absolutely fill my underpants if they bang on that garage door, even though I've asked them to. Right. Yeah, I think we are unlucky with how we've been going so far. We are going to go a little bit more positive in this second half. This is one of those games in hand that we were talking about before as well. So ideally, we win it because, you know, we said we wanted to win the games in hand to challenge for the title, whereas a draw, as you can see, leaves us still outside of the playoffs. It's that tight at the top of the National League at the moment. Good save from Anang, and it's cleared by White. Just lumps it forward, high and wide and out for a throw-in, which is, to me, some decent defending. Just get the ball away. It's good stuff. Right, there. Now, here's a confusing thing. If you've watched, which you won't have done, if you've watched tomorrow's Non-League to Legend, you'll know I was talking about I don't know why the body language has gone away. I've changed nothing. I've recorded this video directly after. There's like a 10-minute gap between me recording this and the Non-League to Legend video that comes out tomorrow where I talk about it. Body language is back. I don't know why it's there. I don't know why it goes away. So confusing. Oh, and don't record your videos out of sequence, Kev. It ruins your brain. Right. Bond is not playing very well today, so Luke Plange is going to come on, and this is his first opportunity, I think, to play up front with Quinn. We're also going to take off Spencer and bring on Cornell. The Spencer experiment hasn't really worked. I think that justifies why he's not really been playing, because he seemed like a bit of a nothing player. He might go on to be a superstar. We'll give him more chances. We're not going to rule him out completely based on that, but first impressions are not quite as impressive as some of the other first impressions some of these other guys have made recently. You can see how tired we're getting. We've played a lot of football lately, and I think we probably do need to be rotating a little bit more, and Hartlepool have scored, and this is where the issue, firstly, our inconsistency is still a problem because dynamics is still only average, but also the fact that we're part-time, and I would suggest Hartlepool are probably full-time. And when we're playing a lot of football and going to extra time and doing super long penalty shootouts and playing 2 games in a week every week, it's going to be much harder for us to keep our players fit, especially because they're only part-time. And I think that's what's cost us there. But hopefully we can turn it around in the next game and look as good as we have done at other points this season again. So in the interest of fitness, some rotation has happened. Pack is back in the midfield along with Cornell. We're pushing Spencer out to the right wing. We'll try him there. It's the other position he can play. And Williams was one of the ones who's tired and struggling. So we'll give Spencer a game out on the right wing. We've also brought Morrison back in at centre-back. Greenwood comes back in at left-back. So quite a few changes. And hopefully we can put on one of those fancy pants performances that we do sometimes as well. I'm tempted to just go positive from the start. I thought that's what I'd clicked, but that still says balanced there. So we will try that again. Right, we are all the best. No, I expect we're favourites for a reason. Go out there. Yeah, I think that one's fair enough. And what I was trying to do, we want to attack from the word go. So let's get that on there as well. So a win. This, I don't think this is another game in hand. I think everyone else is playing as well because it's Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. But a win here could still propel us all the way up to 3rd place. It is, like I say, very tight at the top. And I think having Pack back in the team today is going to be a big difference maker, if for no other reason than his set-piece delivery. Spencer playing out on the right wing today. Let's see if he's going to be a little bit more involved than he was as a central midfielder. Greenwood, big, deep cross, and Bond is there, and he hits the crossbar, and it kind of just bobbles clear and doesn't end up being a goal. A goal there would have been lovely. After all the nice things I've said about these players, they should reward me with goals like that. Sean Dootson, 3rd goal of the season for him, and of course, it's another assist for Marlon Pack. I haven't even looked how many assists that man has so far, and it doesn't even tell the whole story, because there's so many goals that will come from set pieces that are then nodded down by someone, and then they score. So in fact, we'll have a little look in a second after this highlight. We'll see how many he's actually got, and I think you'd be safe to almost double the number, because his set pieces are that dangerous. What is Bond thinking there? And it ends up back with Pack, but he gives it. I mean, everyone's just playing it all the way back, and I don't really understand why. Dulwich Hamlet getting the chance to attack here, but Pack intercepts. Quinn plays it into Bond. Bond with the shot, and it goes just over. So Marlon Pack, where is he? Why can't I see him? He currently has only 3 assists. Not having that for a second. Like I say, I think you're safe to at least double that, if not more, because his set pieces are so dangerous. I can't believe he's only actually got 3 direct assists. Bond, lovely flick on. Cornell's in, and Cornell should have scored. That was some good old non-league football there. Ball forward towards the big striker, who nods it on for the fella running past him. It was effective until Cornell fluffed his lines and wasn't able to get the ball in the back of the net. Cornell does intercept there, though. Spencer plays it back to White, and White looking for the ball forward to Bond, finds him. Bond plays it all the way back again to Morrison. What is Bond up to today? Mitchell is in here, though. Mitchell again playing it back to Pack. What is with all the backwards passing today? Lovely ball forward to Quinn, and Quinn should have done better. There have been some big chances in this game, and they're being missed. Luckily, we have got the opening goal, but we need to be a little bit more clinical in front of goal, or else that might happen and we're level again. That did happen, and we are level again. And I mean, the fact that they've had 62% of the possession, I think, tells you a lot. Did he play for us, Longalo? He's definitely played for me in some save at some point. It must have been for Bourne. It must have been this season. Not this season, like this football season. In real life. This football manager season. FM20, that's the words I'm looking for. Cornell skips past his man beautifully, plays it into Bond beautifully, and Bond scores also beautifully. That was a lovely goal and some lovely football. That was a very different kind of goal to the ones we've been scoring lately as well, because there's no big ball forward. I guess there is the big ball forward in the Bond flick on there, but from here Cornell just plays nicely. Nice little move around his player there. Lovely pass into Bond and a tidy little finish. We don't have to do everything the non-league way. Sometimes we can actually play some good football. It'd be nice if we could defend the non-league way, though, and just lump it forward and not concede from set pieces, because that's an immediate reply from Dulwich Hamlet there, and it's 2-2 on 21 minutes. And I do feel like we perhaps should have done a little bit better. They've completely overloaded that far post. There's 3 or 4 of their players there with nobody marking. They were just queuing up to head that ball into the back of the net, and that's just really poor defending from us, which is something that is going to need to be addressed if that starts to become more of a regular issue. I don't think it is. I don't remember conceding a lot of goals like that, so I'm not going to rush and go and change my defensive set piece instructions, but they were just lined up really poorly there. And now they're on the attack again, playing a 4-2-3-1. Now, we did see in one of the earlier episodes this season that when teams play with these players in between our 2 banks of 4, we struggle a little bit. And you can see here, they're just keeping hold of the ball because we don't know who's supposed to be going and taking it off of them. It generates confusion, and it is something I think we need to work on, playing against these more fancy modern style systems, maybe by dropping Pack back as a defensive midfielder or something, just to, not because I think that's the right thing to do real life tactically in that situation. I think in real life people can figure it out, because this is basically still a 4-4-2, just with slightly differing instructions, and it's basically a 4-4-2 with a withdrawn striker is what the 4-2-3-1 is. But I think we could possibly trick the match engine by dropping a player back into that line of players just to occupy them a little bit. And it also tells the centre backs that neither of them are expected to come out and handle that number 7. We can leave that to Pack or whoever it happens to be who's in there. But I'm not, like I say, I'm not going to rush to do it now. But if it becomes more of a common theme, it's something to bear in mind. Mitchell does well there, but hits the outside of the post with his shot. we've had a lot of highlights in this first half. I know there's been 4 goals, but there does seem like there's been a lot of highlights. We have been the better team here. Go win the football match. Because one of the things after the latest update came out was that it seemed to really reduce the amount of highlights. We had a couple of videos that were like 12 minutes long because the matches were so short because they had so few highlights. Has there been a little mini patch that's fixed that and maybe sent it back the other way again? Because this seems like we're getting a lot of highlights that aren't necessarily leading anywhere like that. I don't know that we needed to see that. It might be heading somewhere, but I feel like it's probably not. White plays the ball forward. I mean, even if a goal comes from this, you could have started the highlight here. And Pack tries to make the challenge in midfield, but can't quite follow it through, and they come away with the ball again. And they're passing it very nicely. They do seem like a good team. They're below us in the league, but I don't know. They look better than their league table suggests. But Quinn is in here, and Quinn scores an 11th goal of the season for him. A total solo effort from Jacob Quinn, and that's what you get when you sign a championship striker on loan for the season. You get some spectacular solo efforts sometimes. It's laughable, really, that Gary Mitchell gets that as an assist for just playing it forward towards Quinn, and who collects it on the halfway line, when some of these amazing set-piece deliveries that we've had from Pack, and he doesn't get any credit for them. Football's broken. The stats, they need changing. The way assists work needs monitoring. There's no other way to do it that would work, but it does feel like Pack isn't getting the credit he deserves for some of the fantastic things that he's done for us in these first 15 or so games of this season. But Dulwich Hamlet hovering on the edge of our area again and just knocking the ball around, and we just don't know what to do. Pack has just got a foot in there. That's what to do. And Quinn is in behind and hopefully can grab another one, and he can. And it's 4-2 to us now. And as much as they're knocking the ball around, we're just being quite ruthless with the counter-attacking and the finishing now, which I guess is what we need to do. Pack does very well. And it is another assist, so another proper assist for him. And this time not even from a free kick. But we are going to now drop back to a balanced mentality. We're going to drop a little bit of praise as well, because we have done well. They kept fighting back at us, but we've done well to stretch this out to a 2-goal lead. And hopefully that'll be enough to kill them off now. If we can go and grab a 5th, that would be even better, but they're still coming at us. Greenwood makes the challenge in a risky area to be making challenges, but Quinn picks it up on the halfway line once again, skips around his player, and again has space to chase into. It ends up with Mitchell with the cross. Bond is there, and Bond scores number 15 of the season for Matthew Bond, and it's Bourne 5, Dulwich Hamlet 2, and we've just overpowered them with our attacking quality today, because if you look at everywhere else on the pitch, I think they've been the better team, but we've got by far and away the best strikers. I would argue the 2 best strikers in the division by miles, and it shows. And today it's won us a football match, because I don't think we win this match with Luke Plange playing up front on his own, because I don't think he scores the 4 goals that we've had from our 2 strikers. Not a chance. Pack a little bit lost there. He didn't seem to know where he was supposed to be going, but he's doing a lot of chasing around for someone who's playing as a deep line playmaker. Bond releases Quinn on a hat-trick, through on goal, 1-on-1 with the keeper, and because it's FM20, that meant he didn't score. Right, what are we going to change here? Spencer, again, not having a very good game out on that right-hand side, so I think we're going to abandon the Spencer experiment for a little while. Plange can come on and play on the right wing, which he's done plenty of times already this season. You know what? We're 3 goals up. We're just going to make a triple change and change the fullbacks as well. Mundell can sit this one out. I probably should have looked at Pack to see what his fitness levels are, because he's been instrumental today, but there's no reason to keep him on the pitch and tire him out again when we've already got the game presumably wrapped up. I don't think it shouldn't be able to go wrong from here. Plange out on the right wing, ball forward towards Bond. Bond flicks onto Quinn, and Quinn does have his hat-trick, and all 3 of our strikers are involved in it, and it's a cartwheel from Jacob Quinn, a hat-trick for him. It's 6-2 to Bourne. This is the 2nd time we've scored 6 goals in a month. And then you tie it into games like the Weymouth game in the FA Cup, where we couldn't score at all, and presumably Weymouth are in this league. maybe even the division below, and we just couldn't score against them. But sometimes we play against a team where our strikers just destroy them, and it's absolutely happened today. Seaman with the throw towards Bond. Bond has had a lovely game playing as that, almost playing like a target man. As much as I hate target men, it's what he's done today, and he's done it very well, even though he's officially playing as an advanced forward. But the two of them together complement each other so well. We're going to have a lot of fun with Quinn and Bond this season. I just hope we can keep them together long term. If we can somehow find a way to sign Quinn permanently, or do the thing that I've done before where I keep loaning him for years and then eventually sign him permanently when we probably don't need him anymore. And it's 6-3 now, thanks to a decent goal from range from Dulwich Hamlet. And they've not given up. Give them their credit. They are still trying to get back into this game. I don't think it's going to happen because we're 3 goals up with a couple of minutes to go. Quinn this time with a much less effective flick on than the ones you get from Bond, which create chances. But all the same, there's a couple of minutes left and we've scored 6 goals. So I don't think we need to get too disheartened by the fact that they're once again keeping hold of the ball. We've only had 41% of the possession today, but we've used that 41% far more effectively than they've used their 59%. 5 clear-cut chances, 2 half chances. The one worrying stat is that they've only had 1 clear-cut chance and scored 3 times. So we have been a little bit porous at the back, but it doesn't really matter when you've got the 2 strikers we've got, does it? Because they're absolutely brilliant. Right, I'm going to go away and enjoy watching Quinn and Bond tear the division apart. Again, look at that. 2 6-goal outings to bookend a very effective October, and I think I'll just go away and do the whole of November, and we'll come back early December and see where we are. Hopefully, as dynamics improves, like I keep saying, those games will start to happen more often than those ones. That's the goal. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.